Hello my fellow humans, and welcome back to another daily dice where we ask the dice for a message and find out what that is. I would like to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And if you are new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things completely differently around here, so with that in mind, if the messages do happen to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Alright, so today's message that came in is you checkmated 2 master manipulators. And I first want to say, I actually recorded this video a couple of weeks ago. Then I accidentally deleted it, and now it's coming back up and starts to saying like it's time to bring out this message. And it was so weird. I was like, why did I spend all this time recording it? And then it got deleted, and Source said that was just, it was a part of the plan. So okay, we're gonna go with it. But that's the message that we're gonna dig into today. We're gonna be using the Soul's Journey cards by James Van Praagh, and we're gonna really see what's coming through. So Source, you wanted this message to come out today. My fellow humans have checkmated 2 master manipulators. What would you like to say in regards to this? They checkmated 2 master manipulators. What Soul's Journey card is going to help us better understand this message further? They checkmated 2 master manipulators. What would you like to come through? What oracle card is going to help us better understand this message, Source? Okay. So I guess you're getting 3 of these. I wasn't going to take them, but they are coming out, so we're just gonna go with it. All right, on the bottom we have self-esteem. Yeah, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So I'm getting this energy where it's like these are individuals who really tried to make you feel worthless, or like your gifts didn't exist, or like if you are psychic, they were trying to make you feel like you weren't psychic, even though you were calling out situations that were happening to them. Like, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but it's like someone called out that someone was pregnant and it wasn't their baby, and they were like, yeah, so-and-so is pregnant, but it is my baby. But then they found out later that maybe it was a sperm donor, or it was someone else's child, or something like that. I don't know why that's coming in, but that could also just be an example. But it was really, really weird the way that it came in. It felt like this is something that had happened. Okay, so take it as it resonates. So it could be an example for some of you, and for others of you, that is something that did happen. Like, you called it out. But I feel like more than anything, Source is saying like there's something like this that happened. Or like if you're an artist and you're like, wow, I've gotten so good at art, and they tried to make it seem like your art wasn't that good. Like, this is 2 people who were really trying to break your self-esteem and your self-confidence. They wanted you to suffer, but you knew that the adversity of this would make you stronger, right? I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So you grew from this situation, and basically that's a rubbing it in their face, if you will, because it's like you being you and you choosing to stand firm in your power. They didn't know what to do. They were so used to people just rolling over and being like, oh yeah, you're right, I'm not good, I don't have talent, like, thanks for being honest with me or whatever. And you were like, no, screw you, get out of here, I know I'm talented. I don't know what your problem is. They weren't used to that. They're just not used to someone standing up for themselves. So Source, my fellow humans checkmated 2 master manipulators. What more would you like to say today? My fellow humans checkmated 2 master manipulators. What would you like to say? Yeah, we've got the 6th house, we've got Capricorn energy, and we've got Moon. So there's this element that's coming through where you focused on paying attention to how you were feeling and your health. Like, this could have been people who were making you sick, you were around, or really depressed. I'm getting really, really depressed. Like, you would leave from talking to them, or they would leave, or like if you were at work with these people, and whenever you weren't around them, like all of a sudden you notice you were really depressed, or really sad, or really heavy energy around you. And maybe at first you didn't realize that it was them, that they were trying to manipulate you. I feel like they showed their colors though. Source helped them to show their colors to you. And in that moment, you set up a very clear boundary with them. And then you focused on working hard for yourself and following in through your routines. Like, this is somebody or a couple of, these are two people, excuse me, these are two people who are really trying to rack on your routine. They did not want you to keep up with your routine because they knew that your routine would bring success. So they felt like they had the power. I got the power, right? They felt like they had the power to keep you from doing what you knew was good for you. And they may have won for a little while. But something switched inside of you and you realized you're like, no. Like, I don't like feeling this way. I don't like being in this energy. I don't like being down and out. And healing came from you standing in your power and hard work and consistency. And they cannot fight with consistency because they're not in a place where they are consistent, right? They're just not. They're in a place of taking everyone else down so that they feel bad and bigger about themselves. And yeah, you're a hard worker, and we see that here. Your routines matter to you, and so your routines became a solace for you. And that's how you checkmated them. It was like you didn't even need to say anything to them. You basically just focused on yourself instead, and that's how you checkmated them. And that sounds silly, right? Like, well, why wouldn't I have to say something? You never did. You never needed to say anything to them. Your actions will always, always, always speak louder than words. Even if you're dealing with narcissists, your actions will always speak louder than words. That's just how it goes. Because narcissists are loud and proud. And not all of them. You have covert narcissists. But they might be quiet and proud, right? Because covert narcissists are really good at doing the whole, I'm going to curse you under my breath, but I'm going to make sure it's loud enough for you to hear it, right? So, Source, my fellow humans checkmated 2 master manipulators. What would you like to say? I'm coming out, so you better get this party started. Get this party started on a Saturday night. So yeah, you're coming out. I feel like you're about to get success here with the Knight of Wands. It's like you're moving on. And that, like, look, don't come in my lane if you're not ready to get in the fast lane, right? Don't be over there cruising at 15 miles an hour and expect to roll in my 90 miles an hour lane. Because it ain't gonna work out for you. Like, that's just not gonna happen. It's gonna be a mess, is what it's gonna be, right? So that's what this feels like. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like for a while, this is someone, or these two people had you in your head. Like, they really had you feeling uncomfortable about yourself. They really had you feeling like you didn't deserve what you were working for, or that you were crazy, or that you were never gonna have success doing something that wasn't what they said it had to be. But there's something that switched here. Yeah, it was because they were projecting onto you their own desires for wanting success in an area without having to work for it. And they may have called you lazy. They may have called you all kinds of names. I feel like these are people who definitely called you names. Yeah, they made you feel hopeless. But look at how you're blocking that. You're like, no, look, I choose how I feel. I choose how I feel. And you see that they're watching you here. They're definitely keeping an eye on you at all places and all things. So this could be family, it could be friends, it could be ex-lovers, it could be co-workers, whatever. I mean, we have the 6th house here, which does point towards co-workers, people that you've worked with. But it could be anybody. Just keeping that in mind. There's this energy, though, where it's like they're really watching you and they're spying on you and they want to know what you're doing at every minute of every day. And it's just like these are people who are checking up on you. Like if you work with them, they might randomly walk by your desk or they might come over to where you're working at and be like, hey, what are you doing? And it's like, why do you care? This has nothing to do with you, right? It's because they feel rejected that you didn't do what they expected you to do. What everyone else always does. What everyone else always does. Everyone else always listens to us. They could be working in cohorts with one another, or these are two separate people who are in the very same energy. Right? On the bottom, melting mask. Wow. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. So, and I also feel like this is telling too, melting mask. It's like you're seeing behind their masks as you continue to put your mask down. So the more authentic you are, the more enticing you are, but also the more of a target you become. And so you became a target for them because they wanted to bring you down a peg, if you will, because, you know, that's the type of energy that they're in. But there was no bringing you down because you built yourself up. Like I said, though, I do feel like they were winning. Okay, like there's a moment where they were winning, where they had gotten you. They had convinced you that you weren't worthy of what you were asking for. They were making you question it. Whatever it was, I do feel like they were winning. But then Source showed you their true colors. Femme Fatale highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Yeah, so we have Shadow as inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Yeah, so you're fighting people who are attached to money and power. They're attached to being seen in a way that they're not. Underneath that, we have the healer. Yeah, look at that. And then we have the God aspect underneath that. So you're a healer, and Source is the one that came in and helped you see how much of a healer you are. And these two people, they were in the crosshairs of your healing energy, and it went against every grain in their body, and so they very, very quickly moved away. Very quickly. Wow, none of your cards are flipping over, so we're just going to go with it. Wow, we've got the owl spirit on the bottom. You see clearly. Now, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Wow. I can see all obstacles in my way. Right? They were an obstacle for you. And now you see clearly. Because Source helped you see clearly. You know, the owls are a messenger between the spirit realm and the physical realm. And also messengers of death, right? So there was a death here, transformation. And what's trying to peak here? Overcome any obstacle. I can see all obstacles in my way. I cannot make that up. What? What is that? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Source. Just thank you. Thank you for this amazing gift you allow me to channel, because it's not me. It's never me. All our gifts are Source. Like, it's Source coming through us. It's never us. It's Source. We just get to be the vessel, and I'm just honored I get to be the vessel. Like, it's just such a blessing. Such a blessing. Alright, so on the bottom of this deck we have, first house, identity check. And the sixth house, again, with get real with responsibilities. So you had to check yourself before you wrecked yourself, okay? You all got an attitude that is fun, let me tell you, okay? So, yeah, you had to get real with yourself, and that was the thing. You had to realize, like, okay, is it really these people, or is it me? Am I allowing these people to make me feel a certain way? And so when you were honest with yourself, suddenly you saw clearly. You're like, oh no, like, they can only win if I let them win. And you saw that at one point you were hopeless, and that was allowing them to win, right? Allowing them to affect you in one certain way or another. And so you surrendered to the process. And I felt like this opened up your consciousness as well. Okay. And we're going to get a shadow aspect. So I feel like a shadow aspect needs to come through. What's the shadow aspect of this reading, Source? Okay. Wow, all of your cards face down today. Awesome. Empty. The truth is that you simply don't feel fulfilled. It's worth the wait to find true happiness. Yeah, and then underneath that we have teasing with dangling partial truths, needing answers and shifting. So I feel like these people that were trying to manipulate you, they were teasing you, making you feel a certain way because they're empty. And they see you as this full life being, right? You have all this life and love about you, and so that was making them feel all types of way, and they wanted to take you down to their level of misery. But you're the one that checked yourself. Like, you're the one that said, no, that's not the life I want. Get out of here with that craziness. Distorted perceptions. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, there was a point where you believed them, but then you saw that was the distorted reality, right? That was the distorted perception that you were seeing. It's like, oh, you know, they don't have a right to tell me who I can be. They don't have a right to convince me that I'm not worthy of what I'm chasing after. But I do feel like there was an emotional attachment to these people. You know, you cared about them at some point in time. And that's hard for us when we care about someone and they don't have our best interests at heart. They have theirs at heart, but they have theirs at heart when it comes to other things as well. Like, I don't want to feel outdone, and I don't want to feel left behind, so I'm going to make sure everybody stays miserable so that way I'm not alone. And that's hard, right? That's a really hard energy. We have the Midas and the Miser. Here you go. Entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything into gold. Delight in sharing life's riches. And then you have the Miser, which is hoarding money and emotions. Obsessive fear of losing your wealth. So I feel like that's the thing. You're the Midas and they're the Miser, right? They're holding on. They're holding on to everything that they have. They want to be the one that looks like the big boss in charge. And they know that there's nothing about them that is in that actual energy, but you exude that, and that bothers them, and that's why they attacked you, and that's why they came forth. But you can't win, right? You can't win when you're coming with the shadow against the light, because the light always shines on the shadow. It makes the shadow appear for what it is. Okay, so we have Skunk Spirit, know your worth. Yeah, you began to understand your worth. And that was like stinky to them, right? Like that was gross to them. Like, how do they know their worth? Like, oh my God, ew. Right? But that's really what happened here. You knew your worth, and that repelled them. That made them very quickly move away. Yeah, life is speeding up. And because you chose to choose yourself, now things are moving very quickly for you, or they will start to move incredibly fast for you. We have Stellium, stop obsessing. You're already getting assistance with this. Yeah, so this is Source coming in and making it easy for you to see people's true intentions. But sometimes we get stuck in that energy where we're like worried about people who hurt us. We're worried about the people who manipulated us. And this is Source saying, stop obsessing about that. Oh, excuse me. And saying, focus on what you can do. Intuition. Yeah, listening to your intuition is key. That's the other thing. I feel like they thought they were going to get the best of you, but they didn't realize just how intuitive you were. And didn't I say that at the beginning? Like, you're psychic, and they were trying to make you seem like you didn't know, like you weren't actually psychic. But this is that's just confirming that, like, yes, you actually have psychic abilities, right? Like, Source is channeling through you for a purpose. We have mechanical, going through the motions, checked out, and routine. Isn't that interesting? We have this mechanical energy as the shadow. So maybe your routines were starting to become mechanical and losing a part of their luster. And that's how they were able to convince you at some point that you weren't worthy of creating the life that you desired. But then you seeing that for what it is, you realize that your routine, it loses its luster. It's not about it always being shiny and bright and exciting, because routine is just consistency. It's like a relationship, right? Like when we first fall in love, it's exciting, it's new, and it's everything that's beautiful that we've never experienced before. And then it starts to lose its luster. Having a long-term relationship is knowing that you can still show up consistently after that new phase has moved on. And so that's what's happened here. I feel like they caught on that you felt like your routine was becoming lackluster, and that they latched onto that to try to make you stop doing the things that you were doing so that you would come back to their level, so that they could benefit from that as well. There might have been something that they were getting out of it for themselves, which is usually what happens in situations like this. And for a little while you did. But then something shifted and you realized that it was never about the beauty of the routine. It was about the stability and the consistency that the routine brought. And so that's what like renewed your faith in showing up every day for the routine. I don't know if I'm going to read these from the book. I definitely will pull them out for you and we'll see. And then maybe if I feel called to read them, I will. But what do we got? Yeah, failure. Interesting. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So at some point you felt like a failure. At some point, that's what they were attaching onto. These are okay, so for as much as you can read energy when you walk into a room, there are also people who manipulate who are capable of the very same thing, but they fed a different wolf. Right? They fed the shadow instead of the light. And that's what's happening here. And so it's like going up against someone who was the same as you, but on the opposite side of the scale. Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So always staying grateful, right? And I feel like you had a renewed sense of gratitude after dealing with these manipulators. You checkmated them, and then suddenly it was like, wow, I have every reason to be grateful because I realized that my life is what I choose it to be. And pride. Look at this. I love this energy. I love myself, and I see myself in everyone. So I do feel like you recognize that the way that they were coming at you, there was a part of you that felt that way about yourself too. There was a part of you that felt like, oh my gosh, like I don't deserve this, or I'm never going to succeed, or, you know, I need to find something that's new, that's more lustrous. Is that even a word? Lustrous? Lustrous? There we go. That's the word, lustrous. And so you might have started chasing something else, but then coming back to those old routines helped you find a sense of stability again. I'm going to read Pride. I feel called to read Pride here. It says you need to take time to honor and acknowledge who you are and what your soul has accomplished with your life thus far. You should look at your past soul's choices and be mindful of how, through your positive actions, compassion, and understanding, you have made a better life for yourself and others. How have you changed the world in some little way? How have you shared insights with others? Reflect on what you have mastered. You should never underappreciate or underestimate yourself or your accomplishments. Now is the time for you to remember how brave you have been throughout your journey. Celebration is required. Humans tend to spend too much of their energy and time on negative emotions or what they have not done. This card signifies that you should take rightful ownership of who you are and how you have shared your unique light with the world. It may also be a perfect time for you to look around and acknowledge those other souls who have accomplished many great things and who need to be reminded of them. Yeah, so reminding yourself of just how far you've come, like that's very powerful for you in this time. And that's what I'm seeing. This is how you checkmated these two master manipulators. It was by understanding that what they were mirroring to you, it resided in yourself, and you dealt with the shadow. And by dealing with the shadow, you began to shine even brighter. And that was such a powerful thing for you. I love this for you. This is what I see for you here. If you felt like this was your reading, is there a little skunk emoji down below? I don't know if I've ever said that before, but let's leave the skunk emoji if there is one and just say, it is by knowing my value and my worth that I'm able to face the shadow that resides within so that no one can manipulate me on my journey. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member on the channel. With that, I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, stay human. Bye.